As temperatures soar and sea levels rise, small island nations like Kiribati, Tuvalu, the Marshall Islands, and the Maldives are fearing the worst. In just a few decades, they could be wiped off the map. But is it just a problem of these island nations? Look around us. The intensity and frequency of cyclones and floods are increasing almost everywhere. Take the case of India. Megacities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and many other smaller coastal cities are already facing serious flooding issues. But it is not just the cities. 250 million people living along India's coast are staring at loss of lives and livelihoods. That's about 10 times the population of Australia. So, how is humanity preparing to cope with this imminent disaster? Well, an interesting solution was found by Kiribati, which bought 5,000 acres of land in neighboring Fiji to shift its entire population on D-Day. Clearly, not an option for most nations. In times of such crisis, we usually bank on engineering solutions like seawalls, surge barriers, breakwaters, etc. Indeed, engineering solutions are necessary, but are they sufficient? Can we have other less expensive and more sustainable options? This is where blue carbon could come to our rescue. We are more familiar with the black carbon, which contributes to global warming, and the green carbon, that is the carbon stored in natural forests. So, what then is blue carbon? It simply means carbon stored in coastal and marine ecosystems like mangroves, salt marshes, and seagrass meadows. And why are they important? Well, there are several reasons, but let me bring up just three of them. One, they are 10 times more effective at capturing carbon dioxide than terrestrial forests. 33 billion tons of carbon dioxide is estimated to be stored in blue carbon ecosystems across the world. That's about 3/4 of the world's current emissions. Two, they can absorb water like a sponge. The salt marshes in India alone can hold as much water as 1 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. Mangroves, for instance, prevent more than $65 billion in property damage each year by buffering against storms. Their contribution in enhancement of fishery and conservation of biodiversity is simply astounding. Unfortunately, these ecosystems are also among the most threatened. Without realizing how important they are for our very survival, we destroy them in favor of agriculture, aquaculture, tourism, housing, and urban infrastructure. Once destroyed, the blue carbon will have its revenge by releasing huge amounts of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. So, doesn't it make pure climate sense to at least preserve these ecosystems in their current state? Going a step further, is it also possible to restore the damaged blue carbon ecosystems? Of course, such restoration is possible. During the Vietnam War, the US military destroyed half of the mangroves in the Mekong Delta by spraying a cocktail of herbicides. But intensive planting efforts have restored them back in just about 2 decades. Closer home, remarkable mangrove restoration works have happened in the West Indian states of Maharashtra and Gujarat. As head of the mangrove cell of the State Forest Department, I was involved in these works in Maharashtra for about 8 years, that is from 2012 to 2019. During this period, we could restore extensive tracts of mangrove areas through plantations and natural regeneration. And the result was a phenomenal 72% increase in Maharashtra's mangrove area. Several factors contributed to this mangrove resurgence, but most important among all was the active participation of coastal communities in the program. The bond with the coastal communities was cemented through a number of sustainable livelihood programs. Looking back, I can say that in my 34 years with the Indian Forest Service, the greatest joy I ever experienced was in watching nature bounce back in all its glory. Technology has now opened up the possibilities of a few more nature-based solutions suitable for our coastal region. Let's look at two such solutions, namely artificial reefs and offshore energy. Coral reefs are very effective in dissipating the energy of waves, but they take centuries to grow. Science has now developed artificial reefs which can be created in months using materials drawn from the sea itself. Energy from oceans has the potential to power the world twice over. This could come from offshore wind, tides, waves, and salinity and temperature differences. I am sure someday at least half of India's energy demand will be met by offshore renewables. Coal and oil can then be laid to rest forever. To sum up, the coastal states are sure to face frequent climate-induced disasters in future. But don't forget that they are also blessed with the natural arsenal to defend themselves. If we learn to view climate change from the ocean's blue lens, we can turn the tide, literally.